I'll play the clip in just a moment. Ben Shapiro ran to CNN, of all places, in a pathetic attempt to try to leverage even more power in hopes of getting Tucker Carlson canceled after the kosher conservative meltdown continues. Now entering week number 3, because Tucker Carlson interviewed right-wing streamer Nick Fuentes 2 weeks ago on his podcast, and hasn't been dropped, hasn't been canceled from the Turning Point USA big conference next month, America Fest, as the keynote speaker.
The real issue here is I think that Tucker Carlson's morphing from, I would say, a very edgy right-wing political figure on Fox News, but certainly within the mainstream, into a conspiracist, a person who ideologically launders anti-Semitism, who ideologically launders all sorts of anti-Americanism on his show, and then airs it for the public to hear with interviews like the ones he did with Nick Fuentes, which was essentially a massage of Nick Fuentes. You know, I think that took a lot of people by surprise.
This very tiny and dedicated and highly organized and well-funded group have been kvetching about this for the last 2 weeks, trying to make it into a big controversy, trying to get people to actually care. But in reality, only a very small group of conservatives, of Republicans, of Americans care what these clowns say. Stay tuned, because there's plenty more to come in this video.
Good morning, Owasso. This is the Twins with Owasso Live, and this is the Morning Loop. Today, we are going to be talking about, I guess, this Republican civil war that's happening right now between basically two different groups. You have, I guess, what you would consider kind of the old guard, Ben Shapiro. And Ben Shapiro's not the old guard. He's like, I would say he's like the new guard. He was kind of one of the focal points of this online conservative revolution. You know, I mean, people were watching his debates and him, Ben Shapiro destroys, you know, like black activists, you know, Ben Shapiro destroys socialists or communists at college or something like that. You know, that was this internet revolution of online media. Ben Shapiro was at the front of that. And now you have this younger generation of coming in, known as the Groypers, with Nick Fuentes coming in here. And he is a true America first, like very anti-Israel, though, kind of bringing back some type of Christian nationalism to America. Now, I'm kind of for this Christian nationalism thing. Maybe not the ethnic Christian nationalism, but maybe just Christian values back at the focal point of America. Totally down with that. And Ben Shapiro is kind of the opposite of that. Like, he's for American and traditional values as long as it benefits the Jews in the state of Israel. Mm-hmm. So we have this kind of clash of ideas coming into the thing, and it's showing these people for who they really are. And both sides, and again, it's not as black and white as it would appear. It's actually very, it's a lot more nuanced, and there's a lot of gray area. And like I said, both sides are right and both sides are wrong. One side's a little more wrong, I think, but another side also refuses to see. So when the other side, I would say Ben Shapiro's side, refuses to self-reflect, and Nick Fuentes' side just has a lot of ahistorical facts kind of at the forefront of their ideas. So we're going to dissect this today. Again, the Groypers versus the Ben Shapiro's, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, well, it'd really be the Groypers versus the what they would consider what they believe
the Zionist group. Yeah, and again,
the pro-Israel side.
All this stems from the interview that Tucker Carlson did with Nick Fuentes. And again, a lot of people are accusing Tucker of softballing this guy, but I mean, the first interview that you're going to do with someone, it's just because they both hated each other. Like they were beefing online for a while, like, you know. So so Tucker Carlson was, you know, it's like, you know what? Why don't I just bring this kid in an interview and if we can just figure out who each other are and see if we trust each other, you know, to like have an honest conversation between each other. And everyone's like, Tucker didn't interview him right. He didn't interview him hardball enough. It's like, well, if Nick Fuentes is a younger guy and has been maligned by the media since he was 17 years old. I mean, like, this kid has been fighting an uphill battle against not just the mainstream media, but against Ben Shapiro himself. And we're gonna, again, that's what we're here to do. We're gonna deep dive into this and kind of try to help people understand this conflict and give some framework and some understanding of what's going on here and why these guys believe what they believe and how tribalism and, misunderstanding and miscommunications are kind of the real culprits behind this.
Yeah. So first, I'm going to bring up the why Tucker Carlson interviewed him with Megyn Kelly.
Absolutely.
Interviewing Tucker Carlson.
Let's go.
Why Nick Fuentes?
I was in an extremely personal and bitter war with Fuentes like 3 weeks ago. Fuentes was attacking my father and my son and my wife. So, I was really mad at Fuentes, and then I did an interview, and just out of the I was so mad it popped out and I attacked Nick Fuentes. And then I got all these calls from people saying, do you know anything about, I don't know anything really about Nick Fuentes. And it was actually Nick Fuentes is the single most influential commentator among young men. And then it turns out that he has no advertisers. Ben Shapiro actually tried to shut him down freshman year in college, and it didn't work. So I was like, maybe I should interview Nick Fuentes to hear, what is this actually? And I thought it would be controversial. I didn't think it would become what it's become. I interview people.
Again, giving some clarification. Ben Shapiro tried to shut Nick Fuentes down freshman year of college. He's 18, 19 years old at this point. What is Ben Shapiro, an adult man in his 30s?
Well, at that time, I think Ben Shapiro
late
was
20s.
20s.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
He was already an established, big-time conservative Daily Wire guy. And what is Ben Shapiro doing crushing a 18-year-old on Twitter, trying to basically destroy him and then selling him out to the ACLU?
What I do remember was they had him a job offering lined up and ready to go. And then he made that.
And then one tweet ended all that, and then Ben Shapiro was like, no, this kid's not going to be associated with the Daily Wire anymore. I'm going to make it my personal mission to wipe him off the internet.
Which, again, that was the whole Candace Owens, Ben Shapiro, debacle, was Candace Owens said Christ is king. And
and that was somehow framed as anti-Semitic.
Yeah, and then Matt Walsh and Ben Shapiro have gotten into it over the whole Israel funding thing. So this is not the first time that Ben Shapiro has been heard of don't be anti-Israel on the Daily Wire.
He's basically, you had the trinity of the Daily Wire, which was Ben Shapiro, Michael Knowles, and Matt Walsh, and then you also have Andrew Klavan in there as well. But they're the main guys. Andrew Klavan's just the old grandpa.
Yeah.
And Andrew Klavan's less political and more. He's a writer. He's a storyteller. So he breaks down things from a narrative perspective. But again, Ben Shapiro is kind of the tyrant of the Daily Wire. Remember, Jeremy Boring was the CEO, but I guess, now that he's out as the CEO, Ben Shapiro is kind of just he's like the LeBron James. I do what I want, everyone else has to do what I say, even though I don't own the company.
Yeah.
He doesn't own the company, he goes, I am the company.
The whole, LeBron James can fire any coach that he plays for because he's the talent. He is the mainstream talent, whereas the coach is just now in basketball and in most sports now is you're just a temporary
Band-Aid until the person who's getting paid the most on the team says, no, you're out.
Exactly.
This is why there'll never be a dream team like the 90s Bulls. Yeah. Because LeBron's ego won't allow himself to be coached by people, like coaches. Mm-hmm. It's like, nope, put the ball in my hand. Again, Jordan humbled himself and said, don't put the ball in my hands. I'll put the ball in my teammates' hands and then just put myself in the best position to be the best thing I can be for the team.
That was the whole point was, he really fought against that coach for the longest time. He's like, I get the ball. Yep. I'm Michael Jordan. I get the ball. And he's like, no, they key off of you, Jordan. I need other people who can handle the ball and shoot and score, so that way I can line you up in positions to make more baskets.
Absolutely, that's what we're talking about. So framing it back to Daily Wire, it's like Ben Shapiro is the LeBron James of this organization. His ego is so big, and he is the Daily Wire. He can be told he can do no wrong. He's surrounded by yes men now. Nobody's going to tell him, hey, Ben, maybe, again, that's what's happening right now. Matt Walsh is trying to be like, hey, Ben, I think your take is really bad on this. And he's like, nuh-uh, you're out. It wouldn't surprise me if Matt Walsh is probably unceremoniously let go from the Daily Wire here in a little bit.
Yep.
That's what people are saying. Now, again, can people have disagreements? Well, it would be a really bad look if Matt Walsh left the Daily Wire. So I don't know if they'll actually let Matt Walsh leave. But there'll probably be less friendly in public. They'll probably won't do their shows together as much anymore.
Yeah.
So there'll be that. There'll be some of that going on. So anyway, let's get into this and keep dissecting what's going on.
Who are hated, in some cases, demonstrably evil. And I asked them, why did you do that? And what's your account of yourself? Tell me who you are. What do you believe? That was the first thing I wanted to achieve with Nick Fuentes. What is this? And second, I wanted to say something very specific to Nick Fuentes, which is, I think it's totally legitimate to criticize any foreign country. It is totally illegitimate and very specifically unchristian to attack people for their DNA.
Why?
Yes. So, that doesn't sound very unreasonable. Tucker just wanted to get a feel for who Nick Fuentes was. Why are we beefing? Tell me about you. Help me understand why you are the way you are. That's basically what the interview is. Like, and again, the reason people are mad about this is because Ben Shapiro thinks he knows Nick Fuentes better than anyone else. It's like, I saw one tweet he made, 10 years ago, and I know who this kid is now. Again, it's like not like the fact that nobody can change their philosophies. And if anything, it's people like Ben Shapiro that have made Nick Fuentes more radical, have made him more right.
Yeah. Supposedly somebody that he possibly looked up to back in the day.
Yeah.
And then you're being crucified or,
you're being
dry by him.
And this is why I say don't meet your heroes, because they will disappoint you. And again, Nick Fuentes was a big Ben Shapiro guy.
Yeah.
And now the person that he looked up to is trying to crucify him.
So we'll check this out. Here is portions of the Tucker Carlson interview with Nick Fuentes.
What I do think is bad is the all Jews are guilty or all anybody is guilty of anything, because that's just like not true. God created every person as an individual, not as a group. Like, we hate that kind of thinking,
Yes.
right? That's identity politics.
As a Catholic, I could not agree more with you. I love all people, even the ones that don't like us. We have to love them all, and we have to recognize that,
We're required to.
yes, but I guess my substantive disagreement is the idea that neoconservatism and Israel has nothing to do with Jewishness, Jewish identity, the Jewish religion, because clearly the state of Israel and the neocons are deeply motivated by that ethnic identity, and their allegiance to Israel proceeds from that.
Well, this is, just BLM. They're engaging in identity politics. But the problem in your response is it does not apply to every individual.
No, and I would never say that.
Okay. Well, I just think it's important to say that because just that principle that we're all judged as individuals by what we do, and God will judge every one of us in that way, and that's how we're supposed to judge.
So again, this is Tucker Carlson trying to play dad to this kid and be like, hey, it's like, this is what people perceive of you, that you are saying all these people. And he says, no. And again, he's, as a Catholic, he's saying, no, I love all people. But he goes to pretend that it's this identity politics thing. And Tucker hit the nail on the head. Like, anytime you talk about Israel, it's just like, it's literally the BLM thing. Well, that means you're against all Jews. It's like, no, it just means I'm against unfettered access to American tax dollars being sent to Israel to what? I mean, allegedly Israel has the smartest people in the world, the most Nobel Prize winners, the most the smartest people in the world. It's like, if they have they have the most smart people in the world, and they have one of the best fighting forces in the world, what do they need us for? That's what Nick Fuentes is saying. And that's what, and again, if you criticize Israel, it goes right into it's the same with BLM, it's the same with Islam, it's the same with Jews. Anytime you criticize them, you go, hey, I think that, we point out that black people are 13% of the population but commit half the crimes. It's like, well, that's just because you're racist. Same goes for Muslims. It's like, hey, this religion and this, like, you guys are conflating your religion with your ethnicity, because there are white Muslims. There are Asian Muslims. There are black Muslims. But it's like, if you say something about the religion, like, I think this religion's kind of scary and has a lot of bad stuff in it. You go, that's just because you're Islamophobic and you hate all Muslims and you hate brown people. It's like, what are you talking about? We're talking about the core beliefs. We're talking about the fundamental values of your religion are bad. And they go, no, you're just a racist. You're just an Islamist, Islamophobe.
Yes.
Again, it means nothing. And it's the exact same thing with Judaism and Jews. And it's not even, you don't even have to be criticizing Judaism or Jews. You could just say, I think Israel is conducting the war in Gaza very poorly. Yeah. And then all of a sudden everyone goes, well, that's because you hate Jews is the reason you're saying that. It's like, no.
And this is important to us as Christians, because as Christians we know that more than one race can be Christian, which is kind of like I would say the error in Nick Fuentes' logic of, it's not, we're not trying to make all Christians need to be white. Like, Christianity was not started as a white religion. Mm-hmm. It's like, I love that one. What's that one guy that we watch that goes to the college campus, the older guy that goes around with his son now?
Oh, Cliff Connectlin.
Cliff Connectlin. And that girl was like, your white religion, and then like there's a black African,
the
like
oldest
actual
church,
African.
the oldest church in the world is in Nigeria.
Yeah, exactly. And he was like, and he told that girl, he's like, Christianity was in Africa before it was in Europe, and that blew that girl's mind because she never
couldn't
thought of that.
Because again, they've been taught history poorly by college professors, saying Christianity is a white religion, it's an oppressive white thing. Again, why is it Christianity is the only religion that's picked on? Like, nobody criticizes Buddhism the way that Christianity is criticized. No one criticizes Islam the way Christianity is criticized in mainstream culture and media. No one it's not the forces that be, especially in mainstream culture, like on TV, on the news. They don't criticize it that way. The only people that come on are individuals who criticize Islam. They go, yeah, this religion's bad and scary. And then again, what happens? You're just Islamophobic. Why is there no Christian phobe?
Yeah, Christianity phobic. Yeah, that would be nice to hear for once.
But again, it's not real because there's only one true religion in the world, and it's the only religion that's allowed to be bullied. You can't criticize Judaism. You can't criticize Islam. You can't criticize Buddhism. You can't criticize, again, publicly, on the media.
Well, and that too, and like every other religion basically like identifies like that Jesus was real.
Yes.
Too. That's an interesting take because whereas Jesus doesn't acknowledge any other religions as real, but all other religions acknowledge that Jesus was a real person.
Yeah. Exactly. So anyway, jumping back into this, the conflation of religion and race is a key factor, and it goes to show you the shady and slimy tactics of Ben Shapiro in this particular one. Again, the deconflation of criticizing core values, core beliefs, or conducting the carrying out of Israeli politics in the world, is conflated as anti-Semitism, which is, what are you talking about? That has nothing to do. It's like, it would be like if I started doing, enacting a policy, and they go, oh, and then you criticize the policy, that's Christianity phobic. Yeah. Like, no. Well, this law is just to help the people and carry out whatever philosophy I'm trying to carry out and stop whatever I'm trying to stop. No, because that's and my argument is, if you say you're against it, you're against Christians. You're Christophobic.
Well, the other issue is like, and this is a problem. It's like you just said with like Muslims confusing Muslims with their race. But the problem is like there is historically, Jewish people actually are an ethnicity and a religion at the same time, which is where this huge confliction of who are we criticizing here and why they can go, you're attacking us as a race and as a religion at the same time.
I mean, again, that's what Nick Fuentes is trying to point out. That is a slimy cheeseball tactic of, being like, you can't criticize us without being racist.
Yes.
Again, so we're criticizing your policy prescriptions. We're not criticizing you as individuals, as people. Again, if we want to criticize you, we'll do it on an individual level. It's like, you, personally, I think you're a bad person. Your policy prescriptions are bad. But again, the minute you do that, whether it be a Muslim trying to pass a law, whether it be a Jew trying to pass a law, they go, you're just a racist. You're just Islamophobic. You are just an anti-Semite. Again, these words have crippled people. Like, they crippled our generation in the millennial generation because, again, what was the worst thing you could be called growing up in my generation? Racist.
Yep.
Again, that still cripples people today. It's like, I don't want to be called racist. I don't want to be called bad names.
Well, unfortunately, now we're hitting the point in time now where people just don't care anymore. You're a racist. It's like, so what?
Yeah,
that's where we're getting.
Ben Shapiro created Nick Fuentes. Like, it's like if somebody says Nick Fuentes, you're a racist, he's going to be like, thanks.
But this is the issue. Is like, you have to give. If they would have given this kid a platform all those years ago, he probably would have disappeared like, what was that one guy's name?
Like a fart in the wind.
Well, yeah, but no, what was that one guy's name that came around during the first Donald Trump election? That one guy? He would wear the Pepe badges. He got punched in the face on the interview. I don't know his name anymore.
He was actually a white nationalist.
Yeah, I forget his name, but I said he's disappeared now. I don't know his name anymore.
Yeah, but he was all over the news. Yeah, Richard Spencer. Yeah. Nick Fuentes would be Richard Spencer if Ben Shapiro just platformed him and again. And if Ben Shapiro is as good at debating as he is, why not just show Nick Fuentes to be the fraud he is? And again, that's what gives Nick Fuentes bona fides. He goes, if Nick Fuentes was debating Ben Shapiro about why U.S. tax dollars are going to fund Israel, Ben Shapiro would have no argument other than you are a racist and an anti-Semite. Because Ben Shapiro probably cannot logically say why it's a good thing that our tax dollars are paying for a foreign country. Because if it's bad, if it's bad that we fund Israel, it can't be bad that we would fund any other place. It wouldn't be bad if we funded Iran. It's like, well, I mean, it's just, we're just trying to give them money to.
The only 2 cents on that, I would say, Israel's technically an ally, and Iran definitely is not an ally.
And again, but it also comes down to the whole thing. Your ally is not your friend. Your ally is your ally, and they're going to do what's in their self-interest just so like they can trust you to do what's in your self-interest. And it seems like America is the only selfless country. It's like, oh, yeah, we'll do things that aren't in our best interest to help other countries in their best interest. It's like, no other country is going to do that for us. They're going to be like, death to America.
Yep. So we'll get into the next couple of memes that I have, not memes, just videos here that I've pulled up. So let's check this one out. This is him actually talking about the Daily Wire event. Now, again, he says he doesn't know. He says he's 99% sure here, but he still doesn't know. That's what I said. So he's making an assumptional leap here, but we're going to check this out.
The Daily Wire person took it to Media Matters?
Yes.
Are you sure?
I'm 99% sure.
What was the clip?
Cassie Dillon would call my boss, who she was friends with, every day for weeks, saying, "You'll never believe what Nick said on his show tonight. It's so racist. It's so bad. You got to take him off the air. It's going to make you look bad." Eventually, I got fired. I got kicked out. One of these clips that Cassie Dillon had a problem with, she took it to Media Matters, actually, which is a left-wing outfit. They're like a cancel mill. It was a clip, ironically, where I was talking.
Which I do agree. That's what Media Matters is for. It's like Media Matters was made to keep media organizations accountable, which basically meant we're going to assault right-wing independent
Yes, it's a left-wing organization, NGO basically, that gets tax dollar funds to basically be a watchdog for right-wing extremists. Again, there's no watchdog organizations for left-wing extremists. It's like, why would they go after some kid who's 18 years old?
Yeah.
Is it because they know that what he's going to say is going to revolutionize the way people think about where our tax dollars are going? Probably.
And again, this does show the hypocrisy. If this, again, there is no proof of this other than just conjecture from Nick Fuentes, is that the Daily Wire was responsible and Ben Shapiro was responsible for this.
But again,
this is true.
Why would a right-wing kid with 3,000 followers be targeted by a group like the ACLU?
Yeah. Again, this is what we're talking about. It's like, if this was the Daily Wire doing this to Nick Fuentes, this goes to show you that they're very
underhanded and shady with their tactics.
They're happy to do this hypocrisy, like, no one should be canceled. Free speech, sunlight is the best disinfectant, whatever. Whereas, we're all for that except for this kid.
Yes.
That's bad. So again, if they had crushed this kid when he was 17, if Ben Shapiro came in and debated this kid when he was 17 years old and he just crushed him, he would have disappeared like a fart in the wind like Richard Spencer did after 2016.
Yep.
So anyway, we'll get back to this.
Talking about the travel ban, the so-called Muslim ban, and I was defending it, and I said the First Amendment does not protect foreign nationals. So it's something, ironically, that probably Shapiro and Cassie would agree with, but they recognize the currency that a clip like that would have with the left.
So she brought that to the left, saying, look at this guy. It's not that he's anti-Israel, but he's anti-Muslim.
Yes.
The Daily Wire.
But again, that goes to show you right there that the underhanded tactics that they're using. And again, Cassie Dillon was Nick Fuentes' friend. She was the one that started getting him potentially into the door at the Daily Wire because she saw him debate all the college communists when he was 18 years old. He was the only guy in a right-wing organization that was willing to debate these guys, and he beat them all in a debate. It was live streamed. That's how Nick Fuentes got famous. It was exactly the way Ben Shapiro got famous, except he was just an 18-year-old kid debating older kids about communism and why communism is bad. So this girl was like, hey, this Cassie Dillon girl told Ben Shapiro about this and said, you should take this kid under your wing. And so he was being groomed to be the next Ben Shapiro into the Daily Wire. And then he made one tweet. And the tweet was, why are we spending so much money, so much of our taxpayer dollars, and why are we sending it to Israel? That was it. And then Ben Shapiro made one tweet back to him and said, this is the kind of anti-Semitism that can't be tolerated in the Republican Party. After that, war was declared by Ben Shapiro against Nick Fuentes as an 18-year-old kid. It could have been 19 too, so don't 100% quote me there. But that's basically the gist of what Nick Fuentes says happened. And again, why would Ben Shapiro do that? An 18-year-old kid, 19-year-old kid. It's like, don't you think if he was actually like wanting to take this kid under his wing, groom him, he could have been like, hey, let me talk to you about why funding Israel is not a bad thing. Instead, crush your enemies is what Ben Shapiro did.
Yep.
It's like he said something bad about Israel, therefore he must be destroyed.
Yep.
Instead of having a rational dialogue with the kid. Again, Ben Shapiro created this monster. And now it hasn't gone away. And it's not going to go away until, again, now he's at the point where everyone's looking at Ben Shapiro like he's a coward who won't debate him. And then everyone's like going, no, Nick Fuentes is just a fraud. It's like, look, you can say that he is a racist, okay? You can say that white nationalism is bad, sure. But his policy prescriptions about why the U.S. taxpayers are having to fund Israel is the one position that Nick Fuentes will beat Ben Shapiro on. There is no doubt in my mind.
And that's why that I do believe that that's why he won't debate him. Because the moment that he steers the conversation that direction, Ben Shapiro will have no foot.
He will have no argument because, like, why? Then because Nick can just be like, why don't we fund Iran?
Yeah.
Why don't we fund Russia?
He will literally bring up the cases. If we're good to fund Israel, why? How are you against us funding Ukraine? Or how are you against us funding, whatever other country? And he's not going to have a leg to stand on.
Exactly. And again, this is why the Israeli lobby and AIPAC, like, they're going to say, don't have that debate because we can't win that debate. There is no way to win that debate. Why should America fund other countries? Why should they fund their defense programs? Why should they get billions of dollars? Don't get me wrong. Israel hasn't got the lion's share. Ukraine's got twice as much as, actually maybe 3 or 4 times as much as Israel has over the past couple of years. But still remains the same. Israel, before the Ukraine war, was the primary beneficiary of the U.S. tax dollar.
Yeah.
They are our welfare kid.
Yep. So let's check this one. Let's go to show you that this has reached national proportions of this happened. This got posted 2 days ago. And it's from Bill Maher, or Real Time with Bill Maher, and even he's talking about Nick Fuentes, which goes to show you like how far his reach has extended because of all this cancellation and censorship. Because Nick Fuentes was scrubbed from the internet from a long time, just like Alex Jones and a bunch of these other guys. So this is not, this is not something that's just popped out of nowhere. This has been going around for a while. So check this out. This is Bill Maher with a bunch of his guests, which Bill O'Reilly is actually one of the guests on this show, talking about Nick Fuentes.
But this guy, Nick Fuentes, I don't know if you've ever heard of him. If you haven't, I mean, I have. I know he had dinner with Trump at one point.
That's such an ominous picture.
I know. Well, that just goes to show you, like, this is the media manipulation tactics right here. So
with a lot of people, but he's what I would call a racist. He's just this troll. He's the guy who runs on the field.
Again, Bill Maher, the mainstream perception of who Nick Fuentes is, instead of like getting to know him. It's like this is why people criticize.
Have you met this person?
Yeah, exactly. This is why people are criticizing. Like Tucker Carlson humanized Nick Fuentes because he interviewed him and tried to get to know him for who he was as a person, not the caricature of the person. Again, if you've only ever heard bad things about somebody, you're getting a caricature of who they actually are. Very rarely is there like the true the Jeffrey Dahmer sociopath that you're going to be like, I didn't want to kill people. I didn't want to hurt anyone. I just wanted to kill them. Very rarely are you going to meet that person in life. Mm-hmm. So, again, it's just, Bill Maher, he is bad news because he has the mainstream perspective. But this is why it's useful to listen to him because he only has the mainstream perspective on who somebody is.
Mr. Bill Maher, Mr. Light is the best disinfectant. Oh, I won't have him on.
Yeah.
I said, you need to have him on. If you think you can whoop his ass in a debate
intellectually,
do it, which I have no doubt that you probably could. Because, Bill Maher has no sympathies towards, I don't know if he does towards Israel or whatever else, but
he's more pro-Israel than he is Muslims because he understands Israel's not going to just nuke us out of the blue.
Exactly. But so let's keep watching this and just see how he tries to do this. Which, again, this just goes to show you that all of a sudden the left does not understand jokes or tweeting. Like being an ironic or a funny tweet right here. So check this out.
That you don't really want to, so you don't take the picture of him, but we kind of have to talk about him.
Does that mean we can beat him up?
I would like to.
So that's what happens when you run on a field with a baseball.
He's what they call a Groyper. I looked into this. It's just like this group of people on 4chan, you know, the internet, which makes everything worse. And they are like pointlessly politically incorrect. They were doing it just to troll. They would say the worst sort of awful
Well, at least
things,
that's
or things
true.
you didn't even understand.
But it's working.
You
once
can
said,
pause it real
having
quick. And
sex
again,
with a
this
woman-
is what people's primary issue with Nick Fuentes is like they say super inflammatory things that have again a grain of truth to them, but are also extremely racial, but also just farcical and ridiculous. You know, it's like they make it as extreme as possible. They say the most extreme stuff as possible in order to get the biggest rise out of people. And what does that do? It brings more eyes to them. Whether it be again, there is no bad press. You know, it's like positive or negative press. Some people think it's funny and laugh at it. Other people be like, "This is outrageous."
Yeah, it's they want it to go viral, and what goes viral more than anything? YouTube and Facebook algorithms showed us with the police brutality videos back in the mid 2000s was
racism
outrage,
sells.
Yeah,
outrage and
sells.
racism sells. Mm-hmm. And again, that's what Nick's doing. Like he is weaponizing his audience and his language in order to get as many eyes as possible, being as
manipulating
ridiculous.
the algorithms to get clicks.
And this is when people call him a grifter. It's like they're not technically wrong with that, but what we're trying to establish is, does he actually believe what he's saying, or is he being as rambunctious and explicit as possible in order to get as many eyeballs on him as possible? Which again is a tactic. If you think you have the right ideas, and you've been crushed by all of your enemies, or people you could have been allies like Ben Shapiro, you have to be as ridiculously racially and charged as possible in order to get as many eyeballs on you. Again, he doesn't care about he wants his message out there. He doesn't care about who his audience is, whether or not they're actually racists or not. It doesn't matter. He's just trying to stay relevant. And again, that's why that would say you could say he's a grifter. But does he actually believe the things he says, or is he just being ridiculous and having fun when he's doing his show?
Yeah.
Is it a bit? But again, can he be doing a bit but also believe a lot of stuff he says? Yes. And again, this is why a lot of people like Ruslan, that, you know, KD Ruslan guy that does this is why he goes, Nick Fuentes is just actually a racist. You know, it's like going, dude, like, I think you're putting yourself on a pedestal going, he refuses to debate me. It's like, what does he gain by debating a church guy? Nothing. Like, he doesn't gain anything by it. He wants to debate people in the political realm.
Yeah.
Ruslan's not in the political realm. He's a religious guy.
What did you say his major was in college?
It was he was international business and politics.
Okay, so he was literally trying to become like a politician, or what he is now, a political commentator.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So, yeah, he wants nothing to do with debating religious figures. He is in the political sphere. He is literally... And you have to be a narcissist to go into politics.
Yes.
I mean, you literally have to be a narcissist, because you have to make everything about you, everything. You have to make your life look perfect. You have to make sure you don't have any, like, skeletons in your closet. And if you do, you got to cover them up or whatever. You know, like, it's being a politician, your life is under scrutiny 24/7.
Absolutely. So anyway, this is where we're at with this Nick thing. So we'll go ahead and jump back into this breakdown of Bill Maher.
A woman is gay and having sex with a man is gay. Okay, I don't know where you go with that. And then they kind of started to believe it. So we thought it would be a good
said
week
just
to...
right there in case you didn't hear. Having sex with women is gay, but also having sex with men
Again,
is gay.
What is that a joke? That's a joke. Obviously, that's a joke. But again, like, this is them like taking a joke seriously. It's like whenever I mean, this is not the first time. Like, who was it? It was Jack Posobiec. He read a quote from Jack Posobiec, and when he read it, he goes, "Oh, this is obviously a joke." But they were acting. The people who gave him these notes took it like he actually meant it. And then when Bill Maher read it, he goes, "Oh, this is a joke." Mm-hmm. And Bill Maher saw it online, but the people who put it on his note cards didn't realize it was a joke. That goes to show you how ridiculous these people are. Like, again, they're reading tweets from Jack Posobiec, who is a right-wing commentator, and he was like, when Bill Maher read it, he goes, "Oh, this is a joke." But his crew didn't. This is how mainstream Bill is.
Yeah.
So anyway, we'll continue with the video.
To do 24 things you need to know or you don't know about Nick Fuentes. For example, I'm in a racist a cappella group called Boys in the Hoods.
That's pretty good.
That's good.
My drag queen name is Jan 6th.
Okay, so again, it's like they're making fun of him, but that's him posting funny tweets. Like, he gets that it's a joke. You think that he actually they're going on the premise that he actually thinks this stuff.
Yes, again,
right now.
the left expects you to believe unbelievable, retarded things. It's like Nick Fuentes is funny. These are stuff that he's made up, and they're reading his stuff that he's tweeting. So this is not Bill Maher's original comedy here. This is stuff that Nick Fuentes is treating.
Yeah.
So again, if you think this is funny, you think Nick Fuentes is funny.
Yeah. So they don't get the joke. Again, they don't get that this is a joke, and they're just reading it like that he thought that they were being. Again, the left thinks he's being serious. These are tweets that he's being funny, talking to his audience about. It's
Absolutely.
like, I don't understand how they don't get this, but like I said, the left doesn't get humor when it's not coming from their
Yeah, it's
side.
like, this is a joke I made, not about him, not a joke that he made being self-deprecating.
Once beat Elon Musk in a high-loft. I'm not gay, but a guy I'm fucking is.
And that tweet he made there is obviously a reaction to something else. Like, he's reacting to something somebody else did or said.
Yep.
He's tweeting about it, and they're not referencing the thing that he's referencing at the time. So
Yeah, he's
what was the
probably,
day and time that this tweet was made, and what happened that he was referencing? They're not giving that context. But even then, even if you don't have that context, it's still hilarious.
Yeah.
Ice to report on the part of me that's Mexican. Wow.
Which that's him making fun of his last name,
Yes.
Fuentes, because Fuentes is clearly
Hispanic.
not a Anglo-Saxon,
Saxon name.
European descent name. It is a Hispanic name. I mean, you could probably argue maybe Spanish if he could possibly be Spanish, but Fuentes does imply that he's Hispanic. And two, that's hilarious. That's self-deprecating humor. You're saying, hey, guys, I'm calling ICE to report my Mexican side. You're
That's hilarious.
That's funny. It's self-deprecating humor.
Keep going.
Kanye once asked me if I was off my meds.
That's true. Him and Kanye hung out for a while.
My followers are called Groypers, but will also accept vaginal kryptonite.
And that's clearly a reference to him, like everyone calling the Groyper side like incels.
Yeah, because
So-
he also doesn't believe in sex before marriage because he's Catholic. Mm-hmm. So
I will boycott the Super Bowl because of Bad Bunny. Also because my parents' basement doesn't have a TV.
See, again, he's getting inside with the guys. Like you wonder why he's resonating with young men that are incels and don't have any political or not political, but have
romantic or financial prospects on the
Exactly.
horizon.
It's like he literally just self-deprecates. Hey guys, I'm there with you. My mom's basement doesn't have a TV in it. That's hilarious.
That is
I
hilarious.
mean, he is a funny guy. He's a funny, charismatic guy. But this is the issue. Is like you're wondering how he's drawing people's attention. It's crap like this because he understands the culture.
Yes.
And Bill Maher does not. He is clearly out of the loop on culture. He is getting, like you just said, he's getting his note cards from his staff that he has not looked at, and then all of a sudden he goes, oh, wait, this is obviously a joke.
Mm-hmm.
Just like not realizing, oh, he actually means these
Yeah,
tweets.
you would think that The Daily Show was talking about Nick Fuentes with these tweets he's tweeting himself. It's like, that's how funny they are. It's like you would watch that on The Daily Show, and that would be how they would make fun of Republicans back in the day. And Nick Fuentes is making fun of himself that way. That's why they can't. I mean, he's got such great self-deprecating humor that they can't. You can't make up better jokes than he can about himself.
Yeah, 100%. Let's keep going. But they're again, get this. They are clapping at Nick Fuentes' jokes right now.
Yeah.
They don't understand. They don't understand. They're literally clapping for the guy that they're trying to show is an idiot.
Yeah. It just goes to show you that they're laughing at his humor. They enjoy Nick Fuentes' intellect.
Yeah.
You're enjoying his political humor.
Yep. And they don't realize that they are actually supporting him in a way right now. But this is why they don't want to platform him, because all that stuff right there shows that he is completely in tune
and
with
self-aware.
the culture. Yeah.
My mom freebased Tylenol when she was pregnant with me. And I'm against interracial marriage, but I wouldn't say no to a weekend in Nuremberg with Candace Owen. All right.
That is phenomenal. That is hilarious humor by Nick Fuentes. Hilarious. And again, they don't get it. They don't get it. It's like, those are Nick Fuentes' personal tweets. And they're like, yeah, no, he's a dum-dum because he actually believes that stuff. You know, it's like, no, he's being hilarious.
Now, we won't go much longer than this, but we will actually show you how Nick Fuentes is deadly wrong about things right now, is what we're going to go into.
Mm-hmm.
And
yes, this is what happens when you don't have a good understanding of history, and you're trying to basically this is him trying to pull Muslims into his audience. So maybe, again, the little omission of not knowing or just saying, I don't know the full context and history of Islam, but maybe he's going to draw them in and perhaps convert them to Catholics. Maybe that's the good that can come out of that. But he doesn't understand history that well, and this next clip shows you that he doesn't.
Yep. So here we go. Check this out.
People don't know this, but the Muslim world didn't hate America until after Israel was created. The United States actually had good relations with the Arab Muslim world. The United States was considered different than Europe, you know, because the Muslims considered Europe the Crusaders, the New Rome, you know, the Christians, but they didn't feel that way about the United States. The reason the Arab Muslims have a problem with us is not because of our freedom or because we're Christian, it's because of our unconditional support for Israel. People.
Now,
again, you had me with not wanting to our tax dollars to go to Israel. But you lost me here because you don't understand history if that's the case. So go ahead and play this next one because Christopher Hitchens will put that straight.
This plays as just a short clip of that what we just watched, but it gets right into Christopher Hitchens debunking this whole thing, which anybody who knows the history of the Marine Corps
understands
why he is dead wrong about what he just said.
What the first offensive war that America had. Remember, the Revolution was a defensive war against the British. Our first offensive campaign was against
the Muslim barbarian pirates.
The Muslim Barbary pirates. So go ahead and check this out.
I don't know this, but the Muslim world didn't hate America until after Israel was created.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
In 1788, when the United States was barely a country, right, it was having its sailors.
Oh, also, just real quick, it's on Bill Maher's show again. So
years ago.
Yeah, years ago, because Christopher Hitchens has passed away.
Yeah.
Taken as slaves by the Barbary states, the states of the Ottoman Empire in North Africa. Tripoli.
Shores of Tripoli.
Shores of Tripoli. Ships stopped. Its crews carried off into slavery. We estimate 1.5 million European and American slaves taken between 1750 and 1815. Jefferson and Adams went to their ambassador in London and said, why do you do this to us? The United States has never had a quarrel with the Muslim world of any kind. We weren't in the Crusades. We weren't in the war in Spain. Why do you do this to our people and our ships? Why do you plunder and enslave our people? And the ambassador said very plainly, Mr. Abdul Rahman said, because the Quran gives us permission to do so, because you are infidels. And that's our answer. And Jefferson said, well, in that case, I will send a navy which will crush your state, which he did. Islamic fundamentalism is not created by American democracy. It's a lie to say so. It's a masochistic lie. And it excuses those who are the real criminals, and it blames us for the attacks made upon us.
People don't know this.
Boom. Again, Nick Fuentes not understanding the full context of history. Just saying, oh, the Muslims, they liked America. It's like, no, they didn't. They just didn't have the means to come over here.
Yeah. They did not have the means to sail that far without, them thinking that the dragons in the ocean were going to get them or
yes,
whatever.
they live in the Dark Ages. I mean, they still technically kind of live in the Dark Ages in the Middle East.
Yeah. It's like, go look, there is like no Islamic country
that's a first world country.
First world country. You could argue Qatar is like,
or Dubai.
Yeah, Dubai and Qatar are like partially first world, but they're still second world because they don't have rights. Remember, Dubai and Qatar use slave labor to build all those buildings. They literally will bring workers in from India and other neighboring countries,
and they'll sleep in those containers, those shipping containers.
Well, no, like I said, they take their passports. Like they will hold their passports. Their companies will hold their passports. Say you will not leave until the job is done. Like, that is evil. That is true evil. Like, there is still slavery going on in Africa and the Middle East to this day.
Yeah, it's serfdom. It's not slavery by the traditional sense of understanding, but it's serfdom.
But I just wanted to show out. I was like, we have done a better job at debunking and showing that Nick Fuentes is a liar than most other outlets have.
And again, it's I would say it's a little overzealous for us to call him a liar. It's just that he doesn't have a full contextual understanding of history. It's a very history starts whenever I say it starts.
Yeah.
It's like going everything was fine. Again, it's like the
World
War
II.
II. Yeah,
Like,
history started at World War II.
History is completely true. That is the history started at World War II argument. Was because everything starts after World War II because Israel was made after the end of World War II, and that's when all of America's problems started. It's like, no, that is absolutely not the case. And again, but that's the problem. That is the problem with the Groypers. The Groypers are just like the liberals, what I'd call the progressive liberals. In that fact is history starts with the Nazis in World War II, and that's it. Because we had the fascist, and then we had the anti-fascist, and those are the only two sides in the argument. It was like, that's ignoring every other historical conflict, battle, and things that made us who we are before.
What caused World War II? Well, the end result of World War I. What started World War I? Well, the regional conflicts of all of the European countries that were allying beforehand, and again. The assassination of Archduke Ferdinand wasn't like it's a small country in the middle of nowhere that no one actually cared about, but that was just the powder keg that just ignited. It's like, okay, now everybody's picking sides, So again, it's just ridiculous to say that. And again, this should be stuff that Ben Shapiro knows he should be able to wipe the floor with Nick Fuentes in. But again, it's going to come down to the one thing. Why does America fund Israel? And Ben Shapiro and all of the freaking AIPAC lobbyists and all the people, all the Zionists know that they cannot come up with a rational argument for why America should fund Israel and no other country.
Yep. Which, I mean, that's pretty much like all I've got. This other stuff is just like funny stuff, showing how he does, showing his deprecating humor kind of things, if you want to watch it. But I mean, we really have covered like all the stuff that I wanted to talk about, and like how we've proven that we've done a better job at debunking Nick Fuentes than pretty much any other mainstream media outlet out there.
Again, and at the end of the day, just give people a fair shake. Let their ideas come to the surface. And again, this is how you know that the Jewish lobby, and again, I say it like it's a bad thing. I understand where they're coming from. It's like, look, they have been nearly obliterated off the planet before, so they take every threat super seriously. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, it's like, why does you have to justify us giving us our tax dollars to you? Why? And again, this is where tribalism comes in. It's like Ben Shapiro, without tribalism, would not be arguing that way for any other country. Without his Israeli heritage and his Jewish heritage, he would not be arguing this argument for anyone else. Why? You wouldn't. You can't. You cannot justify it.
Yeah, isn't his wife Israeli?
She's a Moroccan Jew.
Yeah, she's a Moroccan Jew. Okay.
So anyway, again, America first, and then we can slowly delve out money to countries that. And again, we should just cut spending. We should cut all foreign spending, except for places that let us have diplomatic outposts. And the only thing we should do is just harden perimeter defenses there.
Yep. I mean, the whole point of us putting military bases in countries is to, one, make them feel safer and say it's like a deterrent for neighboring countries to attack them because, hey, there's an American base here. And two, to economically stimulate that country because there are American soldiers, citizens, contractors that work on that army base. Mm-hmm. And they go out to the town because as much as we like our military bases, which, you could really live on a military base and never leave and be okay. But guess what? Soldiers like to go around and explore and get into trouble. And that's what they do. Especially if you ever talk to anybody that's stationed in Germany, they love it. They love it there. So what do you got?
No. I was just texting my wife.
Okay. Oh, you're good then. All right. Well, yeah. But you want me to go into anything else, or do you want me to go ahead and start wrapping it up?
You can go. We can watch some of the funny stuff real quick if you can get us through it real quick.
I'll do my best. We'll try this one. I don't remember what these are exactly in the order I played them in. Let's check it out.
Hey, Nick went to the DMV today and thought I ended up at the homeless shelter. Everyone is a foreigner in there and they look at me like I'm in their country. Shit's a disaster. America has become land of whatever.
It's a joke. Anything goes. This country's a joke. There's no laws. The only laws that get enforced against us. I hate it. I hate it. I'm over it. There's just no rules at all. It's a total free-for-all. You got criminals out there shooting and killing people, just predatory intimidation constantly. They never get caught. Law-abiding, tax-paying people pay for everything. Taxes go up. You're constantly getting hassled by the government and cops. Can't say anything on the internet. Everything's fucking gay. You can't say... What did they say? You can't say skivity in Call of Duty anymore. You can't fucking teabag people in Halo. They made Star Wars gay. Everything's politically correct. So, like, everything just sucks. And I hate it. And there's nowhere even to run and hide anymore. It's just over.
Hey, Nick.
Again, it's the nihilist view, but I mean, he's not wrong. I mean, Star Wars got destroyed by Disney. Political correctness destroyed Star Wars. Female empowerment destroyed Star Wars. Again, this is why Nick Fuentes resonates with me. I'm sitting there nodding my head to everything he's saying. He's not wrong.
Yeah.
Again, and this is what happens. Again, like that feeling that guy sent that chat in. He was like, I went to the DMV and it was like I was in a foreign country. That's sad. That goes to show you that the society, how quickly and drastically society's changing. And if that's some people, that's their reality. Like not here in our insulated little town of Owasso, Oklahoma. Now we do see foreigners in town. I see people wearing hijabs and stuff walking up and down the streets occasionally, which is a crazy thing to see in this town. You never would have saw somebody in a hijab in the '90s growing up here. It would have been like, what the heck is that? What is that person doing? Is this Halloween?
Yep.
Yeah, that goes to show you how rapidly our culture is importing these people. Like when an insulated town in Owasso, and people would be like, oh, that's racist saying that. It's like, no, I'm not saying that it's bad that they're here. I'm just saying you could not have fathomed seeing that back when I was growing up. You couldn't have even fathomed it.
Well, it's like what Tim Pool said where he grew up in Chicago. There's a park there that everybody would go to as kids to play sports. And he said, what did everybody play there? Everybody played baseball. He goes, and you know what those baseball fields are used for now? Soccer fields.
There you go.
He goes, that was not something that he saw when they grew up there. Everyone played baseball. And then they goes, and everybody also hung out there during the 4th of July. He goes, there's nobody there for the 4th of July anymore because they have to duck too much.
Yeah.
Because of the gunfire.
And again, it just goes to show you, it's like, well, why is that a bad thing that they're still using the things for soccer instead of baseball? But what he's saying is it's a cultural change that happened rapidly. Yeah. It's like that you couldn't have, again, baseball fields being used as soccer fields, it goes to show you that there's a culture change in the community. It's like baseball was the thing. Now you import a bunch of foreigners, the only thing they want to do is soccer.
Baseball and football, at least American football, are American cultural icons. Soccer is not. As much as everybody likes soccer, I don't have any knocks against soccer. Soccer is not an American icon sport.
Yes, it's not. I mean, again, how many of you go to the World Cup? How many of you watch how many of you watch the World Cup if America's not playing in it? You don't. Again, that's why that whole, like, remember the goalie that they called the Secretary of Defense?
Yeah.
It's like, the reason that took off was because nobody watched that game until that point. Nobody cared about how many goals he blocked up until the championship game, the World Cup. Nobody gave a shit. That just goes to show you that we don't care about soccer. And again, all these soccer people, soccer is the most popular sport in the world. Yeah, but not in America.
Yeah. I mean, I remember that. Just like the most popular soccer player in America was freaking British.
Yeah.
You know, just
David
think about
Beckham.
that. Like, no, the most popular American baseball and football players are not from any other country other than the United States of America.
Yeah. Or were. Now they are.
Yeah.
Now it's like Puerto Ricans and stuff.
Well, yeah, but still, you still have American baseball stars, you know, that
Yes.
are still more famous. But I would say, yeah, there's definitely more like Hispanics like there. But
yeah.
You know, same with basketball. Basketball was an American iconic game, too. Like, the big three that were American icon games are our top three: football, basketball, baseball. Mm-hmm. That's America's pastimes, and soccer was the world sport. That's why I said, maybe that's why I have such a, like, anti-soccer, you know, heart in me, is because soccer is like a globalization. I see it as a globalization sport.
Yes.
Whereas basketball, football, and what I say? Baseball are American
icon
pastimes.
sports.
They are American pastime sports. When you think America, you think those three sports.
Yep. All right, keep going. Let's knock out the rest of these.
Hi, how are... Dude, I was in New York
and I went to this like stupid like ice cream place, and I saw the most liberal bitch I've ever seen behind the counter. I don't know if she was having a bad day or if she recognized me. She didn't even say hello. I get up to the counter and she looks at me like this. She goes, I'm like, yeah, let me get a vanilla chocolate twist. She's like, well, those are different machines. It's not a twist. I said, well, whatever. Do what you got to do. Get vanilla and chocolate in the same cup. Do whatever you need to do to accomplish this. She goes, I can't stand that anymore. If they're not saying hi, how are, dude, I was in New York.
That's funny. You think he'd want to keep his vanilla separate from his chocolate? I just thought that was interesting.
No. But again, what he's talking about is just like the vitriolic hate. It's like I'm just a dude who says stuff on the internet. It's like, and then it's like the perception of who he is.
Well, I don't even know. Like I said, that was what he was getting at. Like the point that he was getting at there was like what we talk about too. Is like service in the fast food or in any type of like food industry has become crap.
Yeah,
it's like. How are you? He's like, remember when people used to greet you with a smile and a hello? Like, I mean, Chick-fil-A still does that. You know, it's like, what can I get for you today, sir? It's like, where has that gone?
Yeah.
Like, that has literally just it's like, where they'll literally, what do you want? You know, it's like they're becoming, all these places are trying to become the insult places. Yeah.
No, they're the soup place from No
Seinfeld.
Soup for You from Seinfeld.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing. It's like, how's your day? And again, but the other thing, too, is like Nick Fuentes has become the avatar for everyone's vitriol and hate. Again, whether or not he believes whether or not he is the things that they believe about him, he is the things that they believe about him to them.
Well,
he's the avatar for all the things they hate. Exactly. Same with Trump. It's like Trump is not the person you think he is. He's just the avatar in which you put all your hate on.
Yeah.
Knows what happens.
It's like
to
save
them.
that for the devil.
Yeah.
We all know it. I don't even need to say it.
Well, to a society that doesn't believe in God and the devil.
Yeah,
that Trump is the devil.
We create the devil. Yeah, we find the devil in the people around us. Yeah.
Everyone already knows at this point. I love Latinas too. Okay, I get it. We all know.
You have to love Latinas. You are Latin.
What happens on that arc? You start out fiery, busty. Okay, like 10 years later though. They're like a gordita crunch, you know what I'm talking about? So all I'm going to say is you got to play the long game on that one. You meet them, and they're foxy, and they're busty, and they're electric. But, then 15 years later, they're making tortillas, and they're, cheesy gordita crunched up. I love the Latinas, but here's the problem.
He's not wrong, though. That's why the word torta has such meaning in the Hispanic culture.
Wow.
Big fat torta.
Okay, now this is his whole anti-Israel
spiel,
which he has no evidence of this, but he's going to go ahead and spout it like it's 100% gospel.
15 years ago, 20 years ago, Bibi Netanyahu and the Israeli intelligence, they're recruiting Israelis out of high school and college. They enlist them in Unit 8200, their intelligence outfit. And they sent them to America to start tech startups. Do you know this? There was a major initiative in the 2000s and the 2010s. The Israeli cyber intelligence outfit was recruiting young Israelis and sending them as intelligence officers, as spies, to create startups in America, to create tech startups in Silicon Valley. They're all over this stuff. And
just because you send and fund people to come over here to do a startup is no guarantee of success of that startup. Yeah. I mean, how many 80% of businesses fail. And then the other 20, only 10% of those 20 are even profitable. Some of those businesses that you start up are okay for a couple years and they just immediately tank.
Yeah, and two, it's like the other portion of this too is if those people who come over here couldn't change their minds and just decide, I'd rather just start this tech company and become rich and just stay here or whatever.
But it comes down to that Israeli/Jewish tribalism.
Exactly.
It's like it's at the end of the day they're going to fund Israeli support. They're going to advocate for Israeli support, and this is why multiculturalism is not a good thing. Unity is. It's like you come to America, you assimilate, and you want to be a part of American culture and American values. It's like put that Israeli stuff behind you. It's like, I'm an American now, not an Israeli.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, again, you should renounce if you come to America, you should be forced to renounce your citizenship to whatever other country you're from.
When you join
they make you do it in the military.
Mm-hmm.
If you come from Nigeria, and if you come from Puerto Rico, you come from wherever. Again, Puerto Rico is an American territory, but at the end of the day, they go, all the Africans had to renounce their citizenship to Africa. And they were like, I am an American now. After I served this tenure with the U.S. Army, I am an American. No longer am I a citizen of Nigeria or wherever I came from.
Yep. It's like they make you do that. I do agree that there shouldn't be
dual citizenship.
And
even then, even if you tell them they can no longer be a Nigerian citizen, they have to get rid of that dual citizenship thing. Mm-hmm. So should everyone in Congress. So should everyone that serves as president or any form of leader should renounce their citizenship with any other country. But again, that doesn't guarantee that they're actually not going to hold that place that they're from in their heart. But at least it's an outward thing going, yeah, you're no longer you can't go there scot-free. You have to use a passport to get there.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
You know, a lot of them are Jewish. Joe Lonsdale, Sean McGuire, Jacob Hellberg. These guys are all very pro-Israel, very Jewish, very powerful in Silicon Valley. And probably they're involved in some kind of spy ring that's being run out of Stanford, that's being run out of Silicon Valley. Palantir.
Again, making a lot of leaps and assumptions right there.
Yes, again, it's one of those things where I can see, again, if you see it, you can connect those dots and be like, yeah, okay, this guy's Jewish, that guy's Jewish, And again, there is some truth to it because there is definitely Israeli tribalism. And they realize that, again, if the entire Muslim world hates each other, but they're all united against Israel, they understand that if they're not united as tribalists, that they're going to be destroyed. So you get it. Like, it's self-destruction if they don't unite together. It's like, again, they don't want to see Israel destroyed. They don't want to see a place that they're from destroyed. I wouldn't either. As an Anglo-Saxon heritage, I don't want to see Europe destroyed. I don't want to see Britain and the UK turn into Islamic caliphates. I don't want to see that. But my loyalties are here to America. Like, it's really more of I don't even know how to say it. I don't know what the word would be. It's a second thought. It's an afterthought not wanting Europe to change. Like, I would like Europe to stay European and look European and not look like the Middle East if I go there to where my ancestors hail from. And it's the same thing. Like, how would the Muslim world feel if I went to Afghanistan and it just looked like it just looked like New York? This is not the Afghanistan I knew and grew up as a kid. The streets don't even look the same. You'd feel the same way. Maybe you wouldn't because it's so crappy over there.
Yep, 100%. Which I only meme for today. Christians want to ban porn. Muslims and Jews want to ban pork. We are not the same.
Yes, we are definitely not the same. And again, when I saw Dennis Prager not standing up against AI child pornography, I was astounded, flabbergasted. I was like, it's the point. It's the logical point going, where does that lead to, Dennis? And he was like, no, it's not a bad thing. Is that, I don't know if that's just some type, again, it's that Hebrew, like weasel stuff. It's like that they lawyer their way out of anything.
Well,
it's like, I haven't left the house because there's a string of yarn attached to me in my house. I haven't left the house.
Delving into the whole like Nick Fuentes argument thing here, most of the like owners and operators and CEOs of those biggest pornography industries are
all Jewish.
Yeah, it's very strange.
Yes.
Now again, this is the issue again. Is like ethnically Jewish, not practicing Jewish.
Yes, again, and there's a huge distinction to be made between ethnic Jews and practicing Jews. Huge distinction. It's like holding Christians accountable for it. It's like going, well, this guy grew up Baptist and shot up a black church. It's like, okay, but was he like, this is for God, Jesus, this is for you, bang, 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 or is he just doing it because he hated a group of people? Yep. And he didn't say, it's not like a Muslim when they go out and say, Allah Akbar, and blow themselves up saying they did it for Allah or Muhammad. He wasn't saying that the kid that goes into the school and shoots people doesn't go, this is for you, Jesus. Like none of them say that. But again, they'll say it's the culture he was raised in, the Christian culture he was raised in believes that. It's like, what are you talking about? That is definitely not the case, because our Christian culture teaches us what? Turn the other cheek. If someone is going to strike your cheek, give them the other one to strike too. Vengeance is the Lord, not ours. Again, our religion is a religion where the strong sacrifice themselves for the weak. Not that you have to become and overachieve. The victory was already won by someone who was way stronger than you. So again, here we are. And this whole show was, again, about the war on what is conservatives, the war on MAGA, the war of who is truly MAGA, the war is who and it's just tribalism. It's tribalism and it's fine. It's the pro-Israel group versus the anti-Israel group. And again, I wouldn't even define them as an anti. You could probably say Nick Fuentes is truly anti-Jewish, probably could be truly anti-Semitic, but you can't argue with his why are our funds going to these places.
Yeah.
Okay, and I get it. Like I've heard smart people say, well, I would rather fund Israel because they are our feeler in the Middle East, which is somewhat of a sound argument. Because again, with what Israel knows, like we know what the Muslim world's trying to do out there, what the Middle Eastern, what's going on in the Middle East. But at the same time, it's like we have such robust networks. Do we really need to trust because we all know that the Israel government has lied to the U.S. before. They've lied. They're not going to tell. Again, they're going to do what's in their best interest, which sometimes means that they could, even if they don't lie, there could be an omission of the truth out there. We didn't give you the full facts. We just told you the stuff that made us look good. Mm-hmm. So don't assume that Israel has the U.S. interest at heart, because they don't. They're an ally, not our friend. Same goes with everybody else. Same goes for the UK. Like, I don't want to give them unfettered access to our money. Same goes for Ukraine. I don't want to give them unfettered access to our military assets and our money. Screw that. So again, if Ben Shapiro was half the debater that people think he is, then he should not be afraid to just have a little chat with Nick Fuentes. Destroy him one time on stage, and then he disappears like a fart in the wind.
Yep. Just
but
like
he's not going to, because he's doing what women do. He is engaging in manipulation and
behind the door.
Behind the door, like again, it's character assassination attempts. Again, the way we started the show with Mark Dice, everything that Ben Shapiro said was charged language. It was weaponized language against, like, it's character assassination stuff. Yeah. It's he's a bad person. His ideas are bad. He's bad. It's like going, if his ideas are bad, you should be able to defeat them. And again, I think you'll be able to crush Nick Fuentes on 90% of the stuff that he believes.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah.
I just don't think, I think you know, and everyone knows, that you can't beat him on the one subject, and that's why you're afraid to engage, because that's the only subject that Nick Fuentes will engage on, because it's the one that he knows he can win. Everything else, I think Nick Fuentes is just hyperbolic language in order to generate more clicks and build an audience.
He is manipulating the algorithm through outrage and, rage clicks
to
get where he is. That is all he is. He is literally the rage bait guy. He's like, I'm going to say something. I'm going to say a really edgy racial joke.
And it's entertaining.
And it's going to get people to click on it. And whether the actual racists find it, like it, and share it around, or
it's just funny and entertaining because it's counterculture.
Or the people who are outraged by what he says share it and spread it around.
Yeah.
He's getting free publicity.
He wins either way. And again, Ben Shapiro knows that if he engages with Nick at all, he loses. There is no point. Like, again, Ben Shapiro's so big, if he engages with this guy, his audience is going to explode. All of Ben's haters will unite against him. So, again, if Ben had just engaged with Nick when he was a nobody, this would be over with.
Yeah.
And now he has an audience that, like Nick Fuentes gets the audience of people that hate Ben Shapiro. And then every single Islamic person will pile on. There are more Muslims than there are Jews, so there'll be more people pro Nick Fuentes in whatever thing he's going to watch. And again, it's going to come down to, again, Ben Shapiro's the avatar for everyone that Nick Fuentes and all of his followers hate, and Nick Fuentes is the avatar for
that's
all
another
the standard
aspect that I never even thought about too, is the fact that a lot of he could be getting Nick Fuentes could be getting a lot of clicks from foreign assets like Islamic groups overseas that don't like Israel, and they're like, well, they'll tune into him and like him and subscribe. Not that they're actually watching him, but because he's anti-Israel.
Yes,
that's something I never even thought about.
It's fifth dimension. It's fifth generational warfare.
Yeah,
it's online bot farms and stuff from Islamic countries will be building him up.
Yeah.
But I mean, the other thing too is just random regular Islam people be like, he's pro-Muslim and stuff. Like the Christians and the Muslims should unite against Israel. It's like, and then as any Christian be like, no, Absolutely not.
Yeah.
At least the Jews keep the first half of our religion. They don't keep the second half, which is the New Testament, but they keep the Old Testament. It's like we're agreement there, but
I can't
Muslims don't even practice the first half.
And like I said, I can't remember the last time. If you want to argue that it is a religious war that Israel's engaged in right now in the Middle East, I haven't seen them declare war on the Christian faith. So we know that the Islamic groups will declare war on the Christian faith.
Yeah.
But not the Jewish groups.
Yeah, but then the people who are super anti-Israel, they're engaging in a puppet master war, shadow war against, which could be true, but at the same time, it's like, prove it.
Yeah. Well, that too. It's like the whole thing with the Russia interfered with the election argument too. Is like, where that guy went on like Bill Maher or whatever and was like, "You don't think that we don't do that in Russia too?"
Yeah,
and just like, yeah, each country puts political folks, whether it's espionage or funding money to groups, they go, this political opponent or this person is going to be more politically advantageous to our nation.
Yep.
We want this person.
Yep.
Every country does that.
Exactly. But again, they're going to be like, no, every other country they don't think smart like we do. It's like BS. Everybody's engaging in the exact same style of stuff. Like, have you ever heard of dead internet theory, where everybody who comments on your videos isn't a real person? They're just bots.
They're bots, yeah. They actually proved, like I said, they actually found out that's real in the last couple of weeks, that dead internet theory is true. Like, most of the stuff that's liking videos are bot accounts.
You're saying our number one fan Pam is not a real person? She's an online bot?
We don't have enough to have the bots, man.
But yeah. That's where we're at right now. And again, Ben Shapiro, this is a monster you created with your underhanded, sleazy, women character assassination tactics. Congratulations. This monster is of your creating. If you would just tackle his head on, but again, I understand why you didn't, because I don't have time to deal with some kid with 3,000 followers 10 years ago. Well, guess what? This thing blew up into a monster, and you guys kept trying to get him attacked through insidious, nefarious means through the ACLU. It's like, congratulations.
Getting him removed from his job, that's literally the tactics that the left used against Donald Trump and you guys, trying to get rid of right-wing political commentators, and you were doing that against Nick Fuentes.
Doing it against a 19-year-old kid who had to drop out of college because of it.
Which again, if they had just debated him and had a conversation with him, he would have disappeared like a fart in the wind, like Richard Spencer.
I mean, at the beginning, it wouldn't have even had to been a debate. It just could have been, they met, they talked. But this is one of those things, too, where it's like, I don't have time for this because I'm trying to build a multi-million-dollar company. And that's what Ben Shapiro was doing. So I get why he wouldn't. But again, the underhanded tactics that they went through created this monster, and now it's here. They've created this giant atomic Godzilla monster that's not going away now.
Mm-hmm.
So now they got to face. Either you're going to just continue to ignore this monster and continue the underhanded, weasel tactics that they've been using, or he's going to have to face the monster head on.
Yep.
And I think the best way to deal with things is to face them head on, in person.
Yep.
But I don't know if Ben has the bona fides to do that anymore because he thinks he's so above it,
Yep. But that's pretty much all we've got for today. I'm going to play us out with a video to show basically what they did to Donald Trump. The BBC is being sued now because they manipulated or edited video to show Donald Trump in a bad light during the January 6th protest, and it's actually finally come to light, and they're getting sued for it. And this is basically the same types of tactics.
Cheap fakes.
Cheap fakes, but this is the same kind of tactics that Ben Shapiro was using against Nick Fuentes. And I'm just showing you that this is wrong when anybody does it.
Absolutely.
Just debate them.
Yep. So this is the Twins with Owasso Live. This was the Morning Loop. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe so you too can stay in the loop. But that's all we've got for you today. God bless you.
See you later, everybody.
Was onto something.
Where are you from?
BBC.
Okay. Here's another beauty.
It's a good line. Impartial, free and fair.
Yeah, sure.
Well, that criticism of the BBC and John Sopel, who was talking to there, apparently was well-founded because the so-called impartial and accurate public service broadcaster is nothing but.
You are fake news.
Sir,
go ahead.
Can you state categorically that nobody... No, Mr. President...
Because tonight the BBC is facing serious questions over its credibility after the Daily Telegraph exposed a panorama segment that heavily doctored a speech by the American president in 2021, hours before the infamous January the 6th Capitol riot. As you're about to hear, the corporation spliced together two quotes 1 hour apart to make it seem like he encouraged an insurrection.
They played the following clip.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you, and we fight. We fight like hell.
But Trump didn't, in fact, say this at all. The BBC spliced together two clips that took place 54 minutes apart. So let's go through it again.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you.
Now, see there, between Capitol and, that's a cut. Here's what Trump actually said.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women.
It's different. It wasn't until nearly an hour later that he then said the second part of the BBC's version.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we fight. We fight like hell.
That is damning stuff. Now, this, of course, is coming from the holier-than-thou BBC that even has its own so-called fact-checking service named BBC Verify that they claim counters disinformation. Oh, the irony.